Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has warned America for years. When corporations hide the truth, it's not because the danger is small. It's because the danger is too big to admit. And now, Walmart stands at the center of that warning. Behind the polished aisles and everyday low prices, the nation's largest retailer has been quietly forced into recall after recall. Broccoli laced with deadly listeria, apple juice spiked with arsenic, even shrimp glowing with radioactive traces. But here's the secret. Walmart doesn't want you to know. A recall is never just a recall. Each one is the tip of a much darker iceberg, exposing failures in factories, corruption in supply chains, and decisions that gamble with the lives of seniors and working families scraping by on Social Security checks. How many more quality concerns are really just cover-ups for food that could land you in a hospital bed? This is the Downturn Report, where the truth gets personal. Stay with us as we uncover the hidden scandals behind Walmart's recalls. And don't worry, by the end of each section, we'll also reveal which safer brands you can trust instead. Number 1. Apple juice. Only a few weeks ago, the FDA dropped a bombshell that should have stopped every shopping cart in its tracks. Walmart's great value 100% apple juice, the very drink millions of parents thought was a safe treat for children, was yanked from shelves after tests revealed arsenic levels spiking above the federal safety line. 13.2 parts per billion. Just a handful of digits on paper, yet a dagger to the heart when you realize arsenic doesn't wash away. It hides, stacking inside bones, seeding tumors, chipping at memory, and slowly poisoning hearts. This wasn't just an innocent slip of quality control. Whistleblowers revealed Walmart executives had been warned for years about intermittent spikes, yet they chose to let the juice flow, waiting for families to play the role of guinea pigs. Imagine calling that monitoring. That's not oversight. That's turning customers into test subjects while cash registers sing. And the deeper you dig into the supply chain, the darker it gets. Much of the concentrate came from South America and Eastern Europe, where abandoned mining grounds left irrigation ditches glowing orange with sludge so toxic. Lab reports showed over 30 micrograms of arsenic per liter, feeding the very trees pressed into Walmart's bottles. Export papers showed shipments flagged for excessive arsenic were simply relabeled and waved through customs by the time Refresco issued its recall. Over 9,000 cases, spread across 25 states, Puerto Rico, and the District of Columbia. The damage was already done. Experts warned the true cost won't show up in emergency rooms today, but in nursing homes tomorrow when poisoned childhoods come back as dementia and organ failure. Even the people producing this juice were disposable. Workers in concentrate plants spoke of 16-hour shifts under pesticide spray, women suffering miscarriages, men coughing up blood, all while rotting apples were blasted with chlorine to disguise the stench before being dumped back into the mix. Juice-soaked mats were rinsed and reused while employees collapsed on bunks for $4 a day. Meanwhile, Walmart plastered wholesome choice for growing kids across ads, smiling as families poured toxins into sippy cups. The cruel irony? The same corporate empire that sells slogans about health is quietly exporting sickness, trading the innocence of childhood for pocket change. And here's the kicker. Families aren't trapped. If you want apple juice that won't betray your trust, look toward brands like Martinelli's Gold Medal Apple Juice, Honest Kids Organic Apple Juice, Lakewood Organic Pure Apple Juice, Mott's R.W. Knudsen Family Organic Apple Juice, and even Treetop's American Grown Juices, all of which follow stricter heavy metal testing. Unlike Walmart's bargain bin gamble, these companies understand that a child's brain isn't collateral damage, because at the end of the day, apple juice should taste like apples, not like a mining pit. Number 2. Chicken broth. December 2024 should have been the wake-up call no one could ignore. The FDA flagged over 2,000 cartons of Walmart's great value chicken broth for a silent but deadly flaw. Broken seals that allowed bacteria to slip inside as easily as a pickpocket at a crowded bus stop. Inspectors in 9 states uncovered swollen and leaking packages, the telltale signs of sterilization gone wrong, while Walmart's supplier, Treehouse Foods, yanked 48-ounce cartons off shelves with the quiet shuffle of a guilty man leaving the room. The real horror? Spoiled broth can masquerade as safe, looking golden, smelling savory, yet hiding pathogens like Clostridium botulinum, whose toxin can paralyze a grown adult with nothing more than a single spoonful. And according to leaked internal QA logs, this wasn't a freak accident. Sterilization pressure frequently dipped below the legal threshold, but instead of stopping production, supervisors allegedly ordered workers to adjust the records. Translation: cover it up, ship it out, let families gamble their health at the dinner table. And Treehouse Foods didn't stumble into this disaster from nowhere. Only weeks before, the same company expanded a recall of frozen waffles and pancakes after inspectors found listeria lurking in their Ontario plant, a bacteria that laughs at cold storage and strikes hardest at seniors. OSHA has already slapped Treehouse with fines for chemical exposure and unsafe machinery, while the FDA once issued a formal warning over violations tied to sealed food safety standards. Layer that with the class action lawsuit now accusing them of concealing listeria contamination, and you begin to see the rotten blueprint: a supplier that cuts corners, a retailer that shrugs, and customers, often older Americans on fixed incomes, left paying the ultimate price. This is the cruel bait and switch of budget comfort. That family-size carton looks like a shortcut to homemade soup, but in reality, it's more like playing Russian roulette with a ladle. The irony cuts sharp. The very product marketed to warm families on cold nights risks serving up pathogens that can kill the elderly in hours. And while Walmart smiles behind its banners of everyday low prices, the true cost is measured in wheelchairs, ventilators, and funerals. It's the classic American inside joke gone sour, when the broth meant to soothe ends up being the one broth that breaks you. For those who refuse to let their health be a corporate experiment, there are safer paths. Pacific Foods, organic chicken broth, bare bones, classic chicken broth, Swanson Natural Goodness chicken broth, Kitchen Basics, original chicken stock, and Imagine organic free-range chicken broth all maintain stronger safety records, tighter seals, and stricter quality testing. They may cost a few cents more, but they don't come with the hidden gamble of pathogens lurking behind a smiling price tag. Because when you're ladling broth into a bowl for your grandchildren, the last thing you should be serving is fear. Number 3. Cucumber slices. Market-side's neatly packaged cucumber slices strutted across Walmart's produce aisles like green poker chips of health, glowing under cold fluorescent lights, sold as if every bite were minted currency for clean living. Yet beneath the shiny plastic shell was a bacterial trapdoor waiting to snap. In May 2025, federal inspectors confirmed what some unlucky shoppers already knew. These cucumbers were the source of a salmonella outbreak that sprawled across 15 states, sending 26 people into feverish agony and landing 9 in the hospital. Among the victims were older customers whose immune systems crumbled so quickly that septic shock nearly stole them within days. The FDA and CDC traced it all back to 1.5-pound trays stamped with the cursed code 62969, churned out in Texas between May 13th and May 20th. Inspectors walking into Walmart's slicing contractor found conveyor belts so caked in gray sludge they looked more like drainage pipes than food surfaces, and swabs from wash tanks tested positive for Salmonella enterica. Maintenance logs revealed the sanitizer pumps had been broken for weeks, but supervisors allegedly barked orders to just keep running it so Walmart's quota wouldn't slip. What made this circus of contamination even more grotesque was the marketing gloss. The packages screamed triple washed, like some edible hazmat suit, but whistleblowers revealed the wash was a sham, a quick swirl in lukewarm tap water already murky with shredded vegetables. Former workers admitted they were told to slice away moldy ends and toss the rest back into production, a trick of optics to disguise rot as fresh. And if customers later found mushy brown slices swimming in slime, employees were trained to call it natural variability, as if spoiled cucumbers were part of nature's grand plan. One recording even caught a supervisor instructing workers to spray rejected cucumbers with antifungal chemicals meant for greenhouse tools, not human food, just to keep them glossy long enough to hit Walmart's shelves. What sat on produce aisles looked pristine, but inside each slice lurked salmonella, waiting like a smiling assassin dressed in cucumber skin. And behind this bacterial theater was a deeper cruelty. Labor audits exposed an open secret. Most slicers were undocumented migrants paid less than $6 an hour, enduring 10-hour shifts without bathroom breaks because pauses kill productivity. Several women confessed to wearing adult diapers so they wouldn't be fired for leaving the line. When one worker slipped on the slick floor and shattered her wrist, Management allegedly handed her hush money and booted her from the facility the next day. It wasn't just cucumbers being chopped, it was human dignity diced and discarded. For retirees stretching Social Security checks, who picked up these cucumbers thinking they were choosing health on a budget, the truth hit like a cruel punchline. Fresh produce repackaged as a sweatshop's byproduct, dressed in green and served with a side of rot. When the outbreak finally made headlines, Walmart scrambled to issue a recall, but buried the notice in a hidden corner of their corporate site, as if the danger could be deleted with a hyperlink. By then, most of the contaminated trays had already been eaten. Kitchens became crime scenes. Family salads transformed into unwitting delivery systems for infection. This was betrayal with a vegetable face, proof that even the crisp, healthy options sold by corporate giants can be hollow shells of safety. For those who want cucumbers that won't gamble with their guts, safer alternatives can be found with Cal Organic Farms sliced cucumbers, Taylor Organics mini cucumbers, Melissa's fresh Persian cucumbers, Sunset English cucumbers, and Divina fresh organic cucumbers. Brands grown under strict U.S. organic standards, pathogen tested, and produced in facilities that treat both workers and consumers as human beings, not collateral damage. Number 4. Salad Kit. Taylor Farms Honey Balsamic salad kits were marketed like little miracles of modern convenience. Tender greens, crunchy toppings, and a sweet vinaigrette all tucked into one tidy bag, the sort of shortcut busy families lean on when time and money both run thin. But in August 2025, that convenience revealed its ugly underside. Hidden inside some of those kits were not the promised balsamic dressings, but rogue packets of Asian sesame ginger dressing, carrying two of the most aggressive allergens, sesame and soy, without a single warning on the label. 25 states were swept into a recall that felt less like a safety measure and more like damage control. And while no official illnesses have yet been logged, anyone who lives with food allergies knows how fast this could have turned fatal. One unsuspecting bite could slam a throat shut in minutes. A dinner table turned into a triage ward, all because a company couldn't keep its labels straight. But this isn't some isolated stumble. Taylor Farms has built a rap sheet that looks less like a salad company and more like a cautionary tale. Just last year, their onions were tied to an E. coli outbreak that sickened 49 people and killed one, forcing McDonald's and other chains to strip onions from menus nationwide. Before that, romaine lettuce tied to the same company landed dozens in hospitals across multiple states, sparking lawsuits that accuse Taylor Farms of dragging its feet on disclosure, prioritizing image over human safety. FDA inspectors have documented biofilm clinging to equipment, dirty knives and aprons, and cutting boards so cracked they could have been Petri dishes. On top of that, labor lawsuits have cost the company millions, exposing patterns of wage theft and discrimination that bled workers even as shoppers were being put at risk. What they sell as fresh and wholesome looks, on closer inspection, more like negligence shrink-wrapped in cellophane. For older Americans trying to balance Social Security checks against medical bills, this is a gut punch. A salad is supposed to be the safe zone, the opposite of greasy fast food, the symbol of clean eating. Yet here even the humble salad kit, something as simple as lettuce and dressing, morphs into a corporate booby trap. The betrayal runs deep. A company trading on the imagery of health while quietly dealing in mistakes that could choke a child or collapse a retiree before help arrives. It's a reminder that trust, once fractured, is harder to stitch back together than any torn lettuce leaf. And families don't have to gamble on this roulette wheel of negligence. Salad kits from Dole, Fresh Express, Earthbound Farm, Organic Girl, and Gotham Greens carry stronger safety records, with greens grown and packaged under tighter scrutiny. Or better yet, building your own salad at home with fresh spinach, romaine, or kale and a bottle of dressing, you can actually verify means every bite is one you can trust. Because when the healthy choice is packed with hidden risks, the only real safeguard is reclaiming control of what goes into your bowl. Number 5. Dried fruit. The bright bags of Members Mark. Freeze-dried fruit variety packs were sold like candy that had somehow learned how to behave. Shiny slices of strawberries, bananas, and apples that promised guilt-free snacking and shelf life that stretched into the future. Yet in July 2025, those cheerful pouches were ripped from Sam's Club shelves across 43 states after tests found possible contamination with Listeria monocytogenes. The recall covered boxes stamped with UPC 1939685090002, carrying use-by dates reaching into mid-2027. That means millions of pouches may still be tucked away in kitchen cupboards, their danger disguised by the illusion of fruit. And the threat is no small matter. Listeria is not a bacteria you can see or smell. It thrives in dry foods, waits silently in sealed bags, and delivers its punishment straight into the bodies of those least able to fight back. Pregnant women, infants, seniors, or anyone with weakened immunity. A single handful poured into a toddler's palm could contain the same pathogen that causes miscarriages, meningitis, or death. And because these snacks are eaten straight from the pouch with no cooking step, there's no safety net. Only trust, misplaced and broken. But this isn't an isolated crack. It's part of a bigger fault line. Members Mark, Sam's Club's private label, has racked up a pattern of recalls tied to undeclared allergens, sloppy labeling, and lawsuits alleging unsafe or misleading products. Watchdog groups have long warned that private label brands often skate by with thinner oversight than national competitors, hiding behind the price tag while cutting corners in safety checks. In fact, Members Mark only launched its much-trumpeted Made Without campaign, boasting products free from artificial dyes and preservatives. After years of criticism forced them into a rebrand. In reality, those clean labels are more like glossy stickers slapped over deeper systemic cracks. Each recall feels less like bad luck and more like the natural consequence of a supply chain run on bargain hunting and lowered standards, where the race to keep prices low outruns the obligation to keep food safe. For older Americans living on fixed incomes who picked up these pouches thinking they were investing in health for their grandchildren, the betrayal is brutal. Dried fruit was supposed to be the saintly alternative to cookies and chips, but instead became a Trojan horse, rolling pathogens straight into American homes. It's the classic corporate sleight of hand. Sell sunshine in a bag while gambling that audits won't catch the storm hiding inside. The glossy packaging whispered safety, but the recall screamed roulette. And families deserve better than playing microbial dice with their snacks. Brands like Crunchy's freeze-dried, Bear Fruit, Brothers All Natural, Nattiera Organic Freeze-Dried, and Made in Nature. Organic fruit publish microbial tests, track their supply chains, and submit to stricter audits, proving that it is possible to enjoy fruit that is dry, sweet, and safe. Because when it comes to what children and seniors put into their mouths, the choice should never be between budget savings and bacterial. Roulette. Number 6. Chicken sausage. Cayem's all-natural alfresco sweet apple with Vermont maple. Chicken sausages strutted onto Walmart shelves, wrapped in the illusion of farm-fresh wholesomeness. 11-ounce packs suggesting artisanal charm, maple sweet comfort, and a shortcut to dinner without guilt. But in July 2025, the curtain ripped. 3 unsuspecting shoppers bit into something that no glossy label or rustic font had hinted at. Jagged white plastic shards, stiff enough to slice throats or pierce intestines. Over 24,000 pounds of these sausages spread across 28 states were abruptly flagged as potential choking hazards. And here's the kicker. Because these sausages are fully cooked, countless buyers likely tore them open and ate them straight from the pack, never realizing they were chewing roulette with their esophagus. FSIS issued the blunt warning. Discard or return any Lot 179 packages marked Use Freeze by October 1, 2025. That wasn't just an advisory, it was a quiet admission that a food meant to nourish could, with one unlucky bite, maim. And this isn't Cayem's first dance with disaster. The company has a history of pulling products for contamination with stray fragments of plastic and metal, the sort of failures that slip through when machinery breaks down and quotas steamroll caution. Industry insiders whisper about conveyor belts patched with tape, grinder blades dull enough to snap, and inspectors told to push product through rather than halt production. At the same time, consumer advocates have long skewered Cayem's all-natural branding, pointing out the disconnect between pastoral imagery and the reality of additives, preservatives, and industrial processing. Doctors warn that regular sausage consumption carries heightened risks of cancer, cardiovascular disease, chashizits, and metabolic disorders, even without the bonus surprise of choking hazards. And adding insult to injury, some shoppers report finding swollen or leaking Cayem packages, a grim hint at lapses in storage or shelf stability that turn fridges into slow-motion Petri dishes. For older Americans, especially those on Social Security trying to stretch every grocery dollar, this episode lands like betrayal dressed in butcher's twine. Ready to eat was supposed to mean ease, not injury. Instead, it has come to symbolize the hidden costs of convenience, cheap shortcuts that leave the weakest in society holding the highest risks. It's the same cruel American joke recycled yet again: buy comfort food, get hospital bills. But no one has to keep laughing at that punchline. Families looking for safer sausages can turn to brands with stronger oversight and transparent practices. Options like Applegate Organics, chicken sausage, Belinsky's Organic Chicken Sausage, Trader Joe's Spicy Italian Chicken Sausage, Amilu Cranberry and Jalapeno Chicken Sausage, and Nature's Rancher Chicken Sausage undergo tighter quality audits and stricter sourcing. They prove that it is still possible to enjoy sausage without gambling your intestines against a production line's shortcuts. Because in the end, a sausage should snap when you bite it, not snap something inside you. Number 7. Broccoli Florets. Market-side's bagged broccoli florets look like trophies of clean eating. Tight green crowns, clipped neatly, sealed in plastic, and advertised as washed and ready for shoppers who wanted health without hassle. But beneath that polished image was a trap disguised as virtue. In late December 2024, the FDA issued a Class 1 recall on 12-ounce bags after detecting Listeria monocytogenes, one of the deadliest pathogens in the food world, notorious for causing miscarriages, killing the elderly, and crippling immune systems. The flagged batch, code BFFG327A6, stamped with a best buy of December 10, had already spread into 20 states before alarms were sounded. The cruel irony is that Listeria doesn't show its hand right away. Infections can incubate for weeks. So many shoppers who toss these florets into their freezers might still be harboring produce potent enough to push them into septic shock. What pierced the public trust wasn't just the bacteria. It was the deceit of a label promising safety while selling silent danger. Step inside the plant and the illusion collapses. Inspectors described conveyor belts coated in black slime, floor drains teeming with the same Listeria strain that appeared on the broccoli, and tanks of triple wash solution that looked more like dishwater than sanitation. Brown, murky, and laced with bleach residue strong enough to wilt stems into rubber. Workers said the place reeked like a drowned dog in a basement, and the smell wasn't lying. Instead of killing pathogens, the bleach baths only masked contamination, leaving toxic residue and letting Listeria dig deep inside the florets. Internal logs later showed managers had deleted positive Listeria test results, all while collecting bonuses for keeping the records clean. Walmart wasn't just selling vegetables, they were selling a stage play of health, a green mask stretched over rotting infrastructure. And while bacteria stalked customers, the same rot consumed workers. Whistleblowers revealed they were forced to stay on the line even when feverish or vomiting, terrified of being fired if they dared call in sick. Some were locked inside overnight to scrub machinery with acid foam without respirators, breathing in fumes until their lungs burned. One worker described coughing up blood after weeks of this routine, only to be told by HR to drink milk and get back to work. It wasn't just food safety failing, it was human lives being traded like disposable gloves. For older shoppers scraping by on fixed incomes, the revelation was gutting. The broccoli they believed would shield their hearts came from factories that shredded human dignity like it was compost. When the recall went public, Walmart didn't post in-store warnings or issue heartfelt apologies. They quietly buried the notice on their website and swept products from shelves as though nothing had happened. No acknowledgement, no accountability, just silent damage control. That choice revealed the larger truth. Even the foods dressed up as healthy options in America's biggest retailers can be dripping with hidden peril, sold to the very people least able to withstand the fallout. But health doesn't have to mean hazard. Shoppers can turn to Earthbound Farm Organic Broccoli Florets, Man's Fresh Broccoli Crowns, Grimway Farms, Organic Broccoli Cuts, Taylor Farms Organic Broccoli, and Andy Boy Broccoli Spears. Brands with audited facilities, stricter cleaning protocols, and workers treated as human beings rather than expendable parts. These alternatives prove that broccoli can stand for nourishment instead of betrayal, and that what lands on your dinner plate doesn't need to carry the stench of both bleach and exploitation. When we peel back the glossy labels and shiny packaging, what we find isn't just spoiled food. It's a spoiled system, one that gambles with health, dignity, and the very trust we place in our stores. Each recall is more than a headline. It's a warning shot that the cheapest price often hides the highest cost. If this video made you question what's really in your cart, don't stop here. Hit subscribe, join our community, and let's keep exposing the truths corporations would rather bury. Because the next recall may already be sitting in your fridge.
Thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss our daily content. Now feel free to check out some of the newest and best videos currently showing on your screen. Goodbye, and see you in the next video.